Welcome to Cooking with Bruce. Today we're going to be doing something that is just fantastic. It is called a Bolognese sauce, aka Italian beef sauce. And this is something that I love to use for multiple things. Lasagna, any kind of pasta, feed a family, whatever you want to do. It's easy to do and not too hard. And it's not quick in time, but oh my God, is it good. And guys, I cannot wait to show you the trick on what it takes. So today's ingredients, we're going to start off with the tomatoes. I use San Marzano tomatoes for Bolognese sauce. Really worth it in this case. I highly recommend getting these. If you're making something else like a chili, any tomato works, but for this specifically San Marzano tomatoes. We have a little bit of tomato paste. Our seasonings are real simple. We got thyme, a little bit of dried basil. This is oregano. We have 2 large sweet onions, and get sweet onions for this. Pepper, about 9-10 cloves of garlic. We've got our olive oil, beef stock, of course wine, a little bit of honey, we're gonna use like a tablespoon of honey, and salt. And the star of the show, beef! First things first, we're gonna start with the aromatics. And the garlic is the first one that we're gonna start with right here. Nine cloves of chopped garlic. Feel free to use more or less garlic as you want. Next up is onions. Nothing too technical here. We're gonna caramelize these and get a lot of nice sweetness and sugar in here. That's a whole mess of onions, I know, but these are gonna cook down into a very small amount in our pot. So we're gonna start by turning this thing on to about a 5. Get the oil in, probably about 2-3 tablespoons of oil. So we have a pan at about medium heat right now. We're gonna toss these onions in with some oil. Get a big sprinkle of salt in here, a tablespoon and a half. You wanna draw the moisture out of there to concentrate the sweetness of the onions. So we're at a golden color now, check this out. And now we're gonna put in the garlic, 9 cloves. Oh, you definitely wanna make sure you're active here. Garlic will burn so quickly, it's insane. Just keep moving things around. So we have a nice golden color with the onions now, and they've cooked down a whole lot. A little bit of fond there at the bottom. Now, something I wanna talk about real quick. This is a large recipe I'm doing here. You don't have to cook this much. You can do this thing, you can half what I'm doing, and you'll be just fine. But I'm gonna freeze this stuff and use it for later and other things. Got 5 pounds of meat. Check this out. Just trying to get this meat cooked. Meat, garlic, and onions are now cooked. Just down to about a 5 halfway heat. Add some tomato paste. We want to cook the tomato paste down just a little bit so it doesn't taste all raw. This will add a richness, it will add a little bit of thickness to it. It's incorporated. Cook this down for about 10 minutes or so. And then we'll add the tomatoes. Next up are the San Marzano tomatoes. Now these are whole tomatoes, so we need to grind these down in our blender. We're gonna use all 3 cans. Let's get this party started. And the party's over. All right, so usually take your ½ gallon of tomatoes and dump it into your 5 pounds of beef. All right, so we have our San Marzano tomatoes in here. Mixing it around. We're gonna add 2 cups of red wine. Now the reason we add wine to this is for the alcohol. You could use any kind of alcohol you want, but wine has a specific way of unlocking flavonoids in the tomatoes. You'll have a better tasting sauce. So this is all saucy now. And the final things we're gonna add, we're gonna start off with oregano. Tablespoon of oregano, about a half tablespoon of thyme. Now at the end of this, I do have some fresh basil to add, but for the cooking process, I'm gonna add a little bit of dried basil. A half tablespoon. Mix this in. About 2 tablespoons of honey. Then we're just gonna cook this down for about 2 hours on low heat. So we're gonna set this to a simmer, stir occasionally, and let this condense down. I got it set to about a 3 out of 10 in my heat index. And we'll just let this simmer away and let time go. All right guys, let's go for about 2-3 hours, we'll be right back. So this sauce has been cooking now for about 6 hours. It's gonna take a long time. The reason that we make a big amount like this is because we wanna make sure that we have stuff for our effort. This freezes very easily, very beautifully. In fact, you do this, you'll never have to make that jarred ever again. This is a fantastic thing for to feed a large group of families. Also goes into lasagna very easily. And look at this texture. And look how dark and thick and rich this got. All we have to do now to finish this off, we're gonna chop fresh basil, dump it in here. We're gonna make some pasta and taste this stuff. So 6 hours of time, beautiful pasta. Let's take a taste of this Bolognese and not burn my mouth somehow. Oh my goodness gracious. That is worth the effort on that one. Guys, this is something that everybody should make. Make a big old amount of this stuff. Make it for your family. Make it for your friends. Make it for everybody. Guys, this is not hard to do. Thank you very much for watching us again. Remember, subscribe. Tuesdays, Fridays, every week we're throwing new content out there. Thank you very much for watching Cooking with Bruce. See you guys in the next episode. Like and comment. And while you're at it, subscribe.
Are you on?